Well, ladies and gentlemen, I must say I hadn't expected this start, but this is a nice start of the session that we will have this afternoon on IT applications related to mobility in the stream of mobility, as you know, one of the 6 streams here at the conference. I would like to introduce to the floor the 5th introduction to you, Professor Chiang. Professor Chiang is from Taiwan. And he is the vice president of the Kang-Ning University. I would like to, I'm happy that you're here, that you could make it. But it's good that you are here, and you're going to talk about a very interesting, and for me a little bit of an underrated problem, the problem of fatigue. The problem of fatigue creating risks with drivers, risks on accidents in cities, also on highways, and the way to more or less prevent fatigue. That's, I think, your story. You also have only 8 minutes. I can't give you more, but 8 minutes, you have the floor, Professor Chiang.
Thank you, Chairman, and hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to share the advancement on the sleep technology for the ITS. And because there is a very high correlation between the traffic accident and the quality of sleep, especially for the sleep disorders. And one of the sleep disorders is called the sleep disordered breathing, including the sleep apnea, meaning the narrowing upper airway during sleep and causing the obstruction of the upper airway and the oxygen desaturation and the interrupted sleep architecture. So in some statistics in the United States, over 25% of the commercial drivers have been diagnosed with the obstructive sleep apnea syndrome. And UK and in Taiwan, in our own study, around 10% of the commercial driver has the single sleep apnea syndrome. And also, there have been several publications about the sleepy driver caused by the sleep apnea syndrome can incur a higher frequency of car crashes from 2-fold to 11-fold of the risk of accident. And the most important thing is more than 80% of the sleep apnea syndrome has not been medically identified. And plus, in modern society, there has been the chronic sleep restriction and the sleep deprivation related to the work schedule that could multiply the effect of daytime sleepiness and fatigue. So there has been many reports about the air crashes, including the China Airlines, and with some feature story in the National Geographic, and also the Shinkansen high-speed rail in Japan, and also the Amtrak in New York, and also the high-speed rail accident in Spain here, and also in France. And this is a sleepy driver caught on the street by myself in the Taipei city. I followed this car for 20 minutes because the tracking of the car was very weird, and this go and stop off and on. And there has been many evidence show that the sleep disorders could be even more dangerous than the drunken drivers. And there have been data from the government of the United States. Over 10,000 of traffic accidents per year are caused by the sleepy driving, and with 15,000 deaths. And in Europe, have similar data reported with the United States. And this was a study by us when I was in Stanford University. We collected 35,000 cases with the sleepy driver near misses evidence to predict the true traffic accident on the road. And right now we have several big project collaboration with Taiwan High-Speed Rail, which has yearly over 13 million passengers on the trend. And not only on the road and in the air, on the working construction site, there has been many truck drivers and some accidents when operating the tools and the cars because of the sleep problems. So the ITS, right now, as we know, we have developed many in-car IoT in the world, but the human factor monitoring should be another story, which will be even more important. And in my book, published with Springer, we focus on the monitoring by the sleep technology with for the sleepy driver. But the wearable devices right now is bulky, and although they can monitor many biosignal, but it's like an Iron Man. And with the advancement of wearable technology, right now we can make the Iron Man to the invisible man. And in this August, the IEEE EMBC conference, I was invited to give a lecture on the diagnosis of sleep disorders by using the tactile sensors. And because of advancement of technology, right now the fabric sensors could be 1/10 width of the human hair. So in the near future, we might be able to detect the driver's distraction and the sleepiness and the fatigue in the car. But another thing we need to notice that clinical symptom is not always correlated to the sleep quality. So we need not only the statistic significant data and evidence, we need also the clinical significance, and the human factor should be working together with the ITS. So when we come back to the model establishment, we need to focus on near misses instead of the true accident occurred, which will be too late. So as for the regulation, there has been several countries, including the United States, Canada, and the UK. They have several regulations for the drivers with sleep disorders. And also, the Springer invited me to chief editor the Health and Wellness Industry Handbook series, starting from this year. And there has been several volumes, which is closely related to the sleepy drivers and smart city. Sorry about the misaligned, because I used my MacBook, not compatible with the PowerPoint. Sorry about that. And this was also occurred in IEEE in Orlando this August. I chaired the Global Sleep and Health Technology Standard meeting in Orlando this year with many world well-known experts. The standard is very important to have social impact. The standard right now, we have formed several committees to including the to analysis and detection of fatigue level and the sleep technology infrastructure for smart cities, and also for the communities. So what's next? Right now we have to collect the data and to establish standard to offer the government to adopt for the new legal and the regulations. And then the transport operator and vehicle manufacturers should improve service by and develop a new business model and technology. So we need to work together from academia and private sector and the government. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Chiang, for your presentation, which basically is also, when you look at it, about safety and IT related to prevention of a number of accidents. The higher elements in your pyramid and the lower elements are as important as well. Well, we have still some 10 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. And you see